I want to note that we're actually talking about the halachot that pertain to making the bracha of hamotzi and kind of how to govern oneself. And what's interesting is this is nothing to do with Shabbos. I mean, this is just a regular day. It's a given on Shabbos, right? A regular day. So what are the couple of, shall we say, performances that we need to do? And their sources are also quite interesting. So, tfisat alach, you have to hold the bread when you make the bracha. And this, by the way, would be true if you're making a motzi on anything. Right? Anything you make a motzi on should be governed in this manner. So take a look at this. We know that Bracha motzi is mivoseset ala pasuk in Tehillim matzmiach chatzir lebehima. Who wants to finish the pasuk? We said it this morning. Matzmiach chatzir lebehima vele Yiten for lechem yitzmach. I don't know. Okay, anyways.
When do we say it?
Do we say it in Halukas? No?
No, not every day.
Oh no, sorry, for Shabbos. This is the Shabbos one. Sheish basar amilim. Anyways, there's 10 words in that pasuk, and the Tur, listen to this, means a number of reasons that we have to hold the bread and make the bracha. So again, not just, of course, you always hold food before you make a bracha. When you have an apple, you hold food. But when it comes to bread, all 10 fingers have to be touching the bread. All 10 fingers. You see more people makbid by it by Shabbos, right? When they put their hands by the chalot, I guess, because there's 2 of them. But when it comes to the weekday, everyone's just like, you hold your sandwich, you hold your pizza, whatever it is, with like 2 fingers. That's what you use. But no, you have to use 10 fingers when you do it. And he says, it's a Tur. Again, this is not in the halacha of Shabbos. This is Hilchot B'tziat HaPat on a regular weekday. V'yiten shtei yadav al hapat sheyesh ba 10 etzba'ot. Keneged, the 10 mitzvot hatilat b'pat. The 10 mitzvot that pertain to bread. 1, lo tachrosh b'shor b'chamor. Right? So that's an issue of kilei behema. Kilayim, which is kilei sadeh. So leket, shichecha, Peah, Bikurim, Truma, Meiser Rishon, Meiser Sheni, and Chala. There are 10 mitzvot that pertain. Some, although Bikurim is a little, that's one way I don't quite understand is how is Bikurim dependent on bread? Usually isn't Bikurim just the Pirot of Eretz Yisrael? Okay, I'm not quite sure. What? I don't know, I wasn't, I'm not so sure with that one. But anyways, regardless, that's what he says. For the v'lachkach yesh 10 tevot b'birkat hamotzi.
Bread, no. First.
No, you only bring bikurim of fruit. I think it's just fruit. You bring shivat haminim of fruit. So chita sarah, the bashvanim, there's no bikurim by. Yeah. So again, we see that this. By the way, you'll see this when people want to count up 10 for minyan. The Birkat Hamotzi also has 10 tevot, 10 words for it, right? And also, Matzmiach Chatzir Lebeima. And also, 10 tevot in the Pasuk, Einei Koelech Yisaberu. And 10 words in the Pasuk of Eretz Chita, Visor, 10 tevot in the Pasuk, V'yiten Lecha, V'yiten Lecha, those people, I don't know too many people are makbid on this, but some people Motzei Shabbos, V'yiten Lecha Lekim Mital Shamayim, V'shmenei Aretz, V'rov the Gun V'tirash, right? Yevducha, it's based on the Pasuk by Parsha Todad. There's a minhag to say it. Motzei Shabbat is a way of, shall we say, bracha for the week, to bestow, shall we say, God should provide, Mishmenei Haaretz, right? Food and sustenance to us. And this is brought down halacha. This is not even a Kabbalistic thing. Ein levarach kodem shitpos alachem. You must be holding on to the bread. And by the way, if you have, I don't know, this would be a little complicated. Let's say you're having, that's what I was thinking about today. You ever seen those small mini pitas? You ever seen the small mini pitas? They used to be more popular, right? How in the world are you going to get 10 fingers on them? It'd be quite difficult to do. So if it's a regular pita, you're having a falafel. Okay, so you can hold your falafel with 2 hands. A pita, I see it. I'm not quite sure how exactly those mini pitas. A bagel. Can you hold a bagel? I guess you can hold a bagel with 10 fingers. But anyways. But no one does it.
Nobody does it. But
so there you go. Now, let's read on. Yiten shtei yadav al hapat b'shat bracha. Again, sheyesh b'hem 2 etzbot keneged 10 mitzvot lebapat. V'lakach yesh 10 devot b'birkat hamotzi, v'ten devot pasuk. And then the Shulchan Aruch quoted the Tur verbatim. That's good enough. Let's go to Mishnah Berurah. Says the Mishnah Berurah, ein mevarchin el mitzvot el samach lasiyatan. Okay, fine. That's what we do. She mitzvah biyado lasota v'lo kodem lakach. So of course that's classic. We know that you do the mitzvah right over lasiyatan, just like tonight we get all the candles ready, right? You don't make the bracha, then prepare the candles. So the candles have to be ready in their spot, ready to go. Then you recite your bracha, and then you lay. Even if you make the bracha, and then you hold it, you wouldn't have to make another bracha. It's not a hefsek, right? Having the bread in front of you, you might not be holding it, maybe not be holding it properly, it still would not be considered a hefsek, but you should have it all set up ahead of time. So now, here is old Mishnah Bura, and he says, listen, he doesn't say there's a chiyuv to do it, it's not this obligation to put your 10 fingers on it, but he says, tov lasot kein. He said it's a good minhag tova, it's a good thing to do. V'imhu lavush bebatei yadayim. I have never heard this expression before. I was like, what are batei yadayim? Answer, mittens. If you're holding gloves, no, that's not the right word to use. If you're wearing gloves, right, what should you do? Nachon she'esirim b'shad bracha. You should take them off when you make the bracha.
Wait, so what about people who eat matzah with gloves? Yeah.
What?
Those like those really
Because of the chametz?
Yeah. Like what's it called?
No, people don't really do that.
People do.
No, they don't.
I mean,
They do maybe an Erev Pesach Shechalei B'Shabbos maybe.
Oh,
Shlomo enough.
No?
People are really
Eat bread with it?
What's it called? No.
Gibrachs?
Yeah.
No, on your fingertips?
I've heard it.
Really?
Well, people are
I'm making
insane
this
for.
up. I've heard
So you mean to tell me that the
because of the
chashash of moisture on your finger is more important than having a hefsek bracha and wearing gloves? I can't imagine that's the case. No?
heard that, but
We says that you should.
one is.
No, you should take them off. If you wear gloves, take them off.
I mean, it makes no sense anyway. But it's besides.
But I don't think that custom of wearing gloves would apply when you're making the bracha. Making a bracha over the satan is like a mamash halacha for Shulchan Aruch, right? So, anyways, Sheyomer Hashem, and when you say God's name, so it's Baruch Atah. When you say Hashem's name, you lift it up. Yagbia Kikar. Now, and again on Shabbos, Shemavarchim Al Shtayim Yagbia Shtayim. So we see when you say God's name, you lift the bread a shtickle. I don't know. 3 tvachim. I don't know exactly how much of the bread. Usually, hagbah is 3 tvachim, but I don't think that's really the case. It did a little bit. Okay, one more thing I wanted to cover for today, and that is, believe it or not, salt. Says the Gemara, Amarav, Tol Baruch, Ino Tzorch Levarach. Heavy Malach, heavy Liftan, Tzarech Levarach. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Afilu Heviu Melach, Heviu Liftan, Nami No Tzarech Levarach. Okay, what in the world is this talking about? Take a look at the Gemara, Rashi. Habotzeh Kodem Shetam Mina Prusa, Botzeh Mimena, Vahoshit Lemi She'etzlo. So what happens is a person is botzeh kodem shetam min prusa. So a guy is already ripping out.
He's made the bracha.
Right, he's made the bracha. He's ripping off pieces to distribute, but he hasn't eaten yet. Right? V'omer lo tol mepursa the bracha, and they're saying, eat, you got to eat. Av al pi shesach b'intayim. So if a person, essentially, this halacha is if you talk about the bread, if you talk about eating, if you talk about a halacha that pertains to the bread, that is not considered a hefsek from bracha to hamotzi. So tol baruch, you gotta, you said the bracha, you gotta eat something. That's not a hefsek.
Anything related to
That appears to be related to anything, not just for hamotzi. That probably is expansive. That we derive from here in other areas as well. And again, even talking about when you eat salt, bring me salt or bring me a knife or whatever I need. No.
Now it's minhag to make grunts. So
What was that?
now it's minhag to just grunt.
Oh, to grunt, right? Right? Okay, that's a various. Usually, the grunting could be hefsek too, by the way. It's not so, if grunting implies, like instead of speech, grunting is not so simple. Grunting is not a hefsek. So, okay, let's skip the page. Skip the page to number 12. Lo yivtzar ad sheviu lefanav melach or liftan lelafet bo prusat abtzia. You shouldn't even make the bracha until your salt is there or some other type of dips at all that you're going to put your bread into. If it's already clean, or if it's already, shall we say, has type of spices on it, with melach, whatever it may be, or like what we have today, on this kavan lachol pat chariva, if you want to have this, I guess, destitute bread, then you wouldn't have to wait, you could just make the bracha. However, says the Ramah, there's a minhag mitzvah to put salt on the table. Because a shulchan is like the mizbeach, v'achila kagorban, and eating bread is like something sacramental. Shenamar, as it says, al kor korbancha takriv melach, v'hu megin min hapuranut, and it prevents you from calamities. Take a look at the end of Siman Kuf Ayin. So what about in the modern era? I believe today all bread, all dough has salt in it.
Everything is salt.
I mean, if you ask a baker, no baker would create a bread without salt. I don't think that would sell very well. Right? I'm pretty sure. All the challah ingredients that I've seen, what? Yeah, I mean, even in a bakery, right? They all add salt to it. That's fairly standard. Yeah. So the question is, what happens if it's pre-salted? Okay, take a look at the Mishnah Berurah. We'll get there in a second. Actually, take a look. There's actually just in halacha here. Look at 13 in the Mishnah Berurah. He even says, make the bracha, even wait until the actual salt arrives. What happens if there's a lot of people at the table? You ever seen, it's like really fancy people. Everyone has their own individual salt in front of them? That's that's like really fancy.
No, boy.
Yeah, that's like super fancy.
Yeah, salt shaker or like?
I don't know. Or ever see like those salt, not just shaker, salt dishes?
Yeah.
Like those small little like a shot glass. Yeah, that's like really chashuv.
Each person has the salt in front of them.
That's like a real. Yeah, that's like, that's pretty chashuv. That's what he says. Everyone should have their own. Okay, fine. Oh, here we go. This is what Kadesh. What's the idea behind having salt or some type of spice to add to your bread? Kadesh ne'echelet b'tam. It'll be tasty, but bread without salt is bland. Thank you. Mishum kavod bracha. You're making a bracha. The bracha should be tasty. I guess they're really knocking on regular bread here. I guess bread in those days was quite tasteless. I'm not sure. The odd kadesh lo yitztarech achar kach lafsik ben bracha lachila levakesh melach v'tavlin. The asur lechatchila. Ideally, you shouldn't have this delay. If you wait a little bit, better to wait. Now, if you go down, so he seems to imply, how could you? Meaning, it appears that the rationale behind adding salt to bread is, yes, there's an idea that it's dolam mizbeach, but it's also this idea that to make a bracha for something which is so bland is just inappropriate. But there are two different reasons. Meaning, if it's all about something which tastes good, okay, so Mr. Baker Man does it for you. If it's about doma lemizbeach, the shulchan mizbeach, and therefore you add salt to it, then perhaps it might not matter if it was already pre-salted or not. And because of that, he says, here. Oh, this is the last two lines of Mishnah Berurah. Says the Mishnah Berurah, all our breads are salted. So Mishnah Berurah is, let's say, about 100 years ago or so, right? Already, I guess, 100 years ago, as opposed to 500 years ago, standard practice is to pre-salt the dough. And also, we don't eat this salt after the meal. Nonetheless, there's a mitzvah. By the way, this is not referring to Shabbos. This is referring to every day. Right? The katva mukubalim, and here we go. Here's the Kabbalistic. Litpo perusat hamotzi b'melach 3 times. 3 times to dip it based on the mukubalim. Summary, and we'll end with this. Al af shemavur b'gemara shediber b'nyanenu seuda eno mahavem hefsek ben bracha lachila adif lahamtin b'sheket ashevu melach. If the salt hasn't arrived, wait for it to arrive before you make your bracha. Or afilu ledaber bazeh ben nitil lebracha, or to speak between nitil lebracha. Asher lafsik lechatchila ben bracha lachila. Better to do it that way than to make your bracha hamotzi and then wait for the salt. And finally, 1 second, sorry. Kmoken hitbaer sheyesh inyan b'havaat melach lashulchan Gam im ein tzorech bekach b'shvil tarmapan. Even if you don't need it, you just still have bread on the table. Maybe you don't have to dip it. Maybe, salt on the table. Thank you. Maybe you don't have to dip it because I've been pre-dipped. But this idea of having salt on the table is dola mizbeach, which is very similar to Hanukkah, where we also light the menorah also in our homes. This idea that the home is also transforms into a Beit Mikdash Mad, and therefore there are certain things that took place in the Beis Hamikdash that we have in our homes. Shebara Beis Hamikdash b'Yimrav Yamin.